are Focal Systems, the industry leader in retail automation and the inventor of the self-driving store. Focal's mission is to take the latest advancements in AI and unleash them to automate and optimize brick-and-mortar retail in a low-cost and scalable way. We call it the self-driving store. Running a store today hasn't changed much in over 50 years, relying on high-touch rather than high-tech to run stores. Merchants still manually assort and stock shelves, place and receive orders, and update IMS systems that quickly fall out of date. Despite these best efforts, these processes result in bloated back rooms, empty shelves, and a staggering amount of associates that want to quit. Associates are demanding better, and so are your customers. With the added challenges of e-commerce, where even one substitution could lose that customer for life, add on top of that supply chain issues, retailers' outdated, high-touch technologies, and processes are no longer acceptable methods of operating your stores. It's 2022. This is the dawn of AI. We have cars that can literally drive themselves. So the question I ask you, why can't your stores? They absolutely can. For the past 7 years, Focal has perfected an AI-based operating system that digitizes your stores, leveraging the same AI that is used in self-driving cars. Then Focal OS uses that information to drive the store, automating and optimizing, ordering, restocking, merchandising, e-com platform management, stocker productivity measurement, and much more. Let's see how it works. First, we deploy small, inexpensive cameras that digitize your shelves every hour of the day. They never call out sick. They never quit. One camera covers about 8 linear feet of shelf. We need about 400 cameras to cover a 30,000 square foot store. We cover your entire sales floor, produce, prepared food, pet food, you name it. They detect in-stocks, out-of-stocks, lows, planogram non-compliance, spoiled product, and restock events. We digitize top stock and back rooms as well, essentially doing a wall-to-wall scan of your entire store every hour of the day for less than the cost of a full-time employee. Focal OS succeeds where sales data and IMS-based perpetual inventory systems have failed. Let's take Barilla Pasta, for example. It moves on average 1 a day. Many retailers have been promised that from this movement data, AI can accurately and quickly detect outs. Given this movement data here, can you predict if it went out of stock? Can you predict when? It's just not possible. These systems will take days to detect outs, days that you don't have, leaving you with either holes or over-ordering, shrink, and wasted labor. With Focal's hourly image data, we detect and alert your team within an hour of the out happening with very high accuracy for 100% of your SKUs. Also, because the cameras scan your shelves hourly, we know exactly what time the out happened as well, which is critical information for space planning and category management. Let's look at produce management as another example. Here, Focal's cameras detected that carrots were low at 11 a.m. and then out at noon. When the out happened, we immediately and accurately alerted the produce manager via Focal Action Tool, and they restocked it in less than an hour. This is the power of real-time shelf digitization. Focal's hourly captured shelf data is used by Focal OS, not just for ordering and availability, but it automates category management, e-com management, staffing and labor management, and so much more. This is why we call it the self-driving store, and if applied correctly, can cause huge economic benefits. We partnered with one of the largest retailers in North America to perform a case study in 100 stores. We took a phased approach, starting with Focal Action Tool and prioritized replenishment. By stocking with more real-time and accurate data, the retailer measured a gross profit lift of $63 million per year across the 100 stores compared to sister stores. That was achieved while eliminating tasks in the store, such as the daily OOS scan, cycle counting, and searching for ghost inventory. Then, in Q2, they applied Focal's adaptive planogramming to automate merchandising decisions in the store. By using Focal's AI to adapt shelf allocation on a per-store basis to known supply issues and chronic outs, the retailer measured an additional $14 million in gross profit as SKUs with known supply issues were quickly replaced, and it reduced labor by saving time on resets and restocking. In Q3, they rolled out Focal Ordering, using Focal's shelf data to update their current perpetual inventory system hourly. This led to another $10 million in incremental gross profit as Focal ordered more accurately and quickly, also reducing labor spent on IMS maintenance and rebinning excess inventory. Finally, they used Focal to update e-com platforms automatically the second the cameras detected an out or an in, which reduced substitutions and increased e-com picker productivity. They also began selling Focal images and out-of-stock data feeds to CPGs, bringing in an additional $5 million a year. Overall, they proved Focal OS causes a 50x ROI, or a $140 million economic benefit to the 100 stores per year. Let's go a little deeper to see how we can achieve similar results in your stores as well. First, ordering. Every hour, we scan your entire backroom, top stock, primary, and secondary locations to know exactly the state of your store. We then update IMS when we see a discrepancy and estimate demand leveraging Focal's out-of-stock data to create the most precise order possible. We update that order every hour until cutoff to the distribution center. This ensures that 100% of that truckload can fit to the shelf. If the cameras see an out and no backstock, we order it, plain and simple. This way, Night Crew isn't wasting time rebinning excess product piling up in your backroom. Finally, at 7 a.m., Focal performs a wall-to-wall scan to measure how your Night Crew did and produces a report card on what was worked versus what could have been. Since we are ordering so much faster and more accurately, we fill holes quicker, which increases availability and sales. We also reduce bad orders, so we reduce inventory and shrink while increasing Night Crew productivity and on-shelf availability, which increases sales and decreases shrink. Next, prioritized replenishment with Focal Action Tool. As Focal scans your sales floor and backroom every hour of the day, we constantly update the workable outs by lost sales to ensure your team is working outs and lows in order of importance. These outs are sent to the stockers via Focal's Action Tool, Focal's easy-to-use task management application. After outs are worked, Focal takes another image to automatically validate that the outs were stocked correctly. If not, we send it back to the stocker to fix. This repeats every hour of the day as customers shop your store. This approach increases recouped lost sales as stockers are working in rank-sorted order. Also, this results in much faster restocking since stockers do not have to search for product in a messy backroom, and they don't have to worry about mispicks from inaccurate systems. We commonly prove that Focal OS enables stockers to stock 12 times more outs and lows per hour than current systems. Let's look at a time and motion study we conducted to see how this works. This is Mike. He is following the old manual process that depend on inaccurate IMS data. First, he starts in the backroom and scans each box to know what can go out to the sales floor. Mike found 20 items in the back room that the system said could go to the sales floor, which took him about 20 minutes. Then Mike takes all those products to the sales floor to stock them. First, the Phil's coffee, but lo and behold, when he gets to the shelf, IMS was inaccurate and the SKU is full. So Mike does his best to top off the coffee beans and then rebin the remainder. Note, there were 400 workable out-of-stocks with higher lost sales than this coffee, but the system told him to work this first. Then the Betty Crocker cake mix, which is 6 aisles over. Again, not an out of stock. This happened again and again. Mike says this frustrates him, but it's normal. You just have to deal with it. In total, of the 20 items picked, which took Mike 44 minutes to go through, only 2 were actual outs. 3 of them were lows, 10 of them were fulls, and 5 of them had to get rebinned in the back room. Focal's cameras accurately detected all of those 5 rebins and 10 in-stock picks as in, and could have saved Mike all that time. Now let's compare that to Focal OS. Focal's cameras capture outs on the sales floor constantly throughout the day. Then our backroom cameras scan the backroom to determine what has inventory that can go out, highlighted in green, saving the associate half their time by skipping the backroom scan and going right for the green boxes. Then Focal updates Focal's Action Tool as they pick to route the most efficient path to restock. They can see the most recent image so they can quickly and easily fill the out, saving them time and thought. Sean used Focal Action Tool to find 16 items in under 5 minutes. Then, Sean uses Focal's Action Tool to restock in order of lost sales. First, the Cliff Bars. Note it was an actual out, so fit directly to the shelf. Quick and easy with shelf-ready packaging. Finally, Sean returned to the back room with an empty cart, so no rebinning. Out of those 16 picks, Sean restocked 12 outs and 4 lows in 15 minutes. So 100% of the picks were actual outs or lows, compared to 25% with Mike. This means that Sean was 12 times faster than Mike, proving just how powerful Focal's real-time shelf digitization can be. Next, adaptive planogramming. Focal's hourly captured shelf data detects chronic outs or outs that happen day after day before 9 p.m. Our goal is to automatically adapt the shelf to fix those under-allocated SKUs and also react to supply chain issues on a per-store basis every week, so we fill holes the best way with less labor. Once either is identified, we leverage a massive store simulator, we call Focal Sim, to run millions of scenarios to find small changes to the shelf that will solve those problems, reduce restocking labor, and maximize sales and profits. We call these small changes micro resets. We push these down to the store to execute via Focal's Action tool. We take another picture to validate POG and price compliance. If it was done correctly, we move on. If not, we push it back to the associate automatically. While adaptive planogramming requires more time on resets, it saves even more time on constantly filling the same chronic outs day after day. This increases OSA and sales, and actually saves labor. Next, automated e-com management. The industry average for substitution on e-commerce orders has now hit as high as 20%. This annoys your customers and your employees. By knowing exactly what's on your shelf with real-time shelf cameras, Focal can prevent this issue, increasing customer loyalty and preventing the #1 reason e-com customers stop coming back. This is how, as soon as an out-of-stock occurs, Focal captures it in under an hour. We instantly update all e-com platforms that the product is not available, preventing a poor customer experience and letting the customer substitute for themselves the moment they are ordering. We also save labor by removing that item from the pick list for the e-com associate so they don't have to waste time hunting for ghost inventory. We then update Action tool with the out-of-stock as soon as stock hits the store. Once the out-of-stock is filled and verified by the cameras to be back on the shelf, Focal updates the e-commerce platforms that it is available again automatically. This saves time for e-com pickers and almost eliminates substitutions completely. Finally, Focal enables corporate and store management to virtually visit hundreds of stores a day and see live shelf conditions in real time. You can get alerts to let you know anything it is that you would otherwise have to go to the store for, how your produce looks, associate productivity, and more. With Focal's Impact Dashboard, we allow store managers and corporate users to teleport to stores in seconds to check high-level metrics like number of out-of-stocks, the number of outs that Focal scanned inventory for in the back room or top stock, hourly on-shelf availability, live lost sales estimates. You can check on each and every department from anywhere in the world. You can teleport in to see real timeline videos of your shelves, so you know exactly what your shelves look like in your stores at any time. This is Focal OS, the first AI-based operating system of retail. We have successfully partnered with some of the largest retailers in the world who have called us the industry leader in retail automation, and we would love to do the same for you. We are Focal Systems, the industry leader in retail automation and the inventor of the self-driving store. Contact us to take Focal OS for a test drive today.